Yo, what's up everyone? It's your dude, the Shredder here, back with more Yu-Gi-Oh content for you all. And if you're a member of the Foot Clan, deeply appreciated. And if you want to be in on the latest content, such as live duel videos, deck profiles, and metagame discussions such as OCG and TCG, don't forget to please slice into it, that like button, the subscribe, and if you want to push me up the algorithm and you have any questions, don't forget to comment down below. All right, hope you enjoy the Shredder out. Let's slice on into it. Yo, what's up going on, guys? Introduce the Shredder here, back with my boy, the Meta Shredder. What do we call him? We call him the he's the Meta Shredder.
Candy.
Right, the Candy Man. My man with the Madolches, the cupcakes. He's been out here devastating us. So a while back, you got first place, and you've been waiting to give me this list.
Right.
Right?
I've been holding it. I gotta keep it secret.
He's gotta
I don't
keep
want
it
people to catch on.
Well, a lot of people have been wanting to see you, man. They've been wanting to see your deck profile.
All right. Now that I've lost more, I can give it away now.
All right, you ready? You got any shout-outs?
Shout outs to Lightshaver, just a friend.
All right.
No, if you Google him, you won't find him.
Let's go.
All right.
You ready to dive into this? All right, let's go.
I like this card.
First off, 3 Predecessor.
You engage.
This card does. I kind of messed around with it, and it honestly doubles the amount you can special summon in the decks. It does too much to go over. It's easily the best card. 3 Madolche, another 1-card starter.
So this one double summons, basically? I don't know what all of them do.
Gotcha. This one special summons itself, and it summons out another monster.
Okay.
And it summons out the monster it summons out is a level lower,
Okay.
which basically lets you go into some crazy XYZ stuff.
All right, cool. And what's this one do?
So this is normal summon, add a Madolche to the hand. Very simple, but it really shines in situations where you want to go into a Zeus or something that is not a Madolche, as well as giving you a follow-up for next turn. So it's a card that pays for itself, and you can also search out this, which makes it just as good in a lot of situations. Alright. 3 Angeli. This card attributes itself to special summon 1 Madolche from the deck, and the monster it summons out cannot be destroyed by battle. This effect, the battle protection really comes in handy in combination with Glass Souffle, because you can put up a combo starter that cannot be destroyed by battle, is unaffected by monster effects, and you meet the requirements for Hoot Cake just by tributing. So this is a good card. It allows you to hold out, basically.
I get what you're saying.
All right.
I just hope it's not like $80.
So, a lot of people run 2, but I think 3 is the way to go for this card. The reason why most people keep it at 2 is because you need a monster engrave to get to basically get it going. But my counterpoint to that is you have a monster engrave half the time, and you can't run any more 1-card starters besides this. So yeah, there are a lot of times where you just have no Madolche monsters, and like just any one of them would do. So this is for those scenarios. Also, the fact that you have one in deck gives you a lot more flexibility with how you special summon it, and if you happen to draw 2, that does ruin a lot of your combos. It means you have to start with this, or you have to put it in the back of the deck somehow, which is something that I'd rather not deal with. Wait. This is when this card's special summon while you control a beast, you can add a spell or trap to the hand. This is now once per turn, which is why we run 2 of them, despite it being a Garnet for the deck. The amount of advantage you can generate with 2 really earns its spot, despite how frustrating it can be drawing it sometimes. At 3, it's a bit too much, and at 1, you just don't get enough value, but 2's perfect.
I just got a city job, so if I can just stack trade those.
This is the secret star of the deck. It brings a lot of traits that you wouldn't otherwise have. It has an effect where if you have no monsters in grave, it's boosted by 800, bringing it to 18, making it the highest attack Madolche main deck monster. And with the field spell, it boosts it to 23, which allows it to punch over quite a few meta threats, such as most notably Winda. It also has a destruction effect when you attack, which allows you to put pressure without committing too much, and it's an essential piece to make Chalk a la mode live, which lets you special summon quite a bit. So easily a one of in any build at least.
Right.
One main deck pink.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a card that can burn 2 interruptions and it's 1 card.
Yeah. Breaks boards.
Easy 3 of. This lets you normal summon a Madolche again, and it also generates advantage by letting you set Madolche's spell or trap when one of them gets shuffled back. It addresses the biggest weakness of the deck, which is hand traps, and recently it has enabled a lot of Zeus plays. And for me, a Zeus has 4 materials, so definitely a 3 of. Very, very, very good card. Okay. 3 Pot of Prosperity. This lets you fish out your combo pieces. It lets you dig. I mean, if you see it in your opening hand and you don't have a combo piece, you get to dig 11 cards basically.
Right.
So, very likely to. It's what you want it to be, and it also makes your one-ofs. You can see them more often. I also like that it's a controlled banish compared to extra, so you can run a lot of non-main deck non-extra deck Madolches, which I take full advantage of.
Obviously, these are old cards.
Let's see. 1 Chateau. This card was very strong in the past, but the main reason you use it is just to extend your combos. It gives you a lot of recursion as well, but the deck without it already has strong recursion. It does, however, put your Madolches. It allows you to get a 3,000 attack Madolche, which is just enough to crash into Dragoon. So it's good, but its value just doesn't increase if you run more copies. So just a one-off. This is a card that you think you can cut, but you really can't. If a Madolche gets shuffled back, you get to add a Madolche monster to hand. There are. It basically, if you, it's the lowest priority card that you search out, which is why it's easy to want to cut it. But it just adds so much utility at a 1 card, and if you do get it out, it does basically guarantee that you're gonna be able to follow up no matter what your opponent does, because you resolve it once on your turn, and you resolve it once on your opponent's turn. That's like 2 Madolche monsters to your hand. So very strong, even though it feels like you don't need it. Main deck Duster, just because Madolche in most scenarios can only play through 1 interruption, and if we're lucky, 2. So if your opponent sets 3 cards and it's 3 interruptions, it could be a Trap Hole, a Book of Moon, and I don't know, anything else. That's just going to shut you down completely. So this is to address the weakness of back row, and you can see it more in those matchups just because of prosperity.
I find that quite entertaining. I'm going to leave it in there.
When called by, very strong going first card to protect myself as well as interrupting my opponent. So it's a good going first, but its value doesn't fall off if you don't use it.
That's probably nothing because
2 Promenade. Very strong negation, can negate a spell, trap, or a monster as long as it's face up on the field. It also adds 1 to hand, which generates a lot of recursion. 2 is a good amount to have. If you have 2, that's effortless recursion. You can get it out for free in most scenarios. And even if something bad happens and you only have the 1, then you can still just put it back in your deck and set it.
Anybody at all going to like Jesse?
Alright.
Jesse's locals?
2 trap pull cards for the Reflesia engine. This one protects you from hand traps, and this one is meaningful interruption against just about any deck. Right, 3 Dimension Shifter, which has been putting in a lot of work. The fact that Madolche have an inherent way to shuffle cards from the graveyard back to deck, as well as not needing the graveyard in a lot of scenarios, means it can still play under D-Shifter even though not as strong, whereas other decks just get shut down completely. And if they do choose to play, it burns their resources, where instead of like something like Lancia, which only locks them out of resources, or a Droll. 3 Droll. Well, it does have some anti-synergy with Pennycessor because it requires no monsters in grave. It is an impactful enough card to where it justifies that anti-synergy. Against certain decks, it just shuts them down completely, so 3 of it will be. And the last 4 are the most flexible spots. I go with 2 Ash Blossom because it has so much synergy with any other hand trap. Ash works, it combos well with Droll. In situations where they could play around Nib, I could Ash them and force them to play into Nib. And under Shifter, if they do have some play, like Ash will stop it. Oh, and I recently put in 2 Nibiru, just because Prank Kids is really popular in the area, and I feel like I need to respect the matchup more. So these were previously Imperms, but now they've gone Nibiru, and I do like it over Imperm currently. Right. For the extra, right, I like to keep it thin. So this is the entire Madolche engine. For the extra, at least. This is, I believe, a one of because it's only useful for sending Madolches to grave to trigger shuffle back effects. If this card is putting in work, something has gone horribly wrong. This is your go-to interruption on your opponent's turn. It can shuffle 2 cards from either graveyard, non-targeting, as well as give monster effect protection. If there was one to run 3 of, it would be this, because your full combo does require 1 banish and 1 on the field, so you have no more in extra. But you can recur it by shuffling it back into the extra. And with 3 Shifter, you will not be full comboing as much. 2 Madolche, Queen Tiramisu. This is one of the best removals in the game. It's non-targeting, it's non-destruction, and it's not a hard once per turn. So if I summon out multiple, I can use them multiple times. Now, 2 is all you really need because you can put it back in the extra deck if you have. You can put them back in the extra deck if you combo properly. I have resolved this card on a few occasions 3 times, and on one occasion 4 times despite only running 2. And one of the times where I summoned it 3 times was under a droll as well, so you really only need 2.
Right. It's always like, let's play.
2 Madolche Chalk a la mode. This card is the beefiest Madolche. It is the card that can go to 3,000 attack, as well as summoning, as well as allowing you to special summon quite a bit. Under certain scenarios, it can summon as many materials as it has, and it's very easy to have it with 2 materials, and in some scenarios it even has 3. So that's 3 special summons from the deck. Alright, now for the non-Madolche part.
Yeah, that's why they kind of like reprinted a lot. Like,
Alright, 1 Zeus. This deck has the ability to go into a 4 material Zeus. And also, the 4 material Zeus is a very strong hand trap immune play. So this, just one card to address one of the biggest weaknesses of the deck. Again, hand traps. Easily earned its spot in mine and many other decks. 1 Abyss Dweller. It just locks out It locks out decks that require the graveyard. I started running it mainly for Crank Kids. 1 Rafflesia. This card protects you from hand traps on your turn with the Gravedigger's Trap Hole, while being a meaningful interruption on your opponents. 1 Tornado Dragon. I prefer Tornado Dragon because 1, it can lead into a Zeus. 2, it can pop 2 cards, whereas a Nightmare Phoenix can only pop 1. And 3 is I can summon this under Barrier Statue. It has, I also, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Nightmare Phoenix, while it is easier to get out, I just special summon so many level 4s that it has not been an issue. And lastly,
Super Poly target.
4 Super Poly targets. Super Poly is just such a devastating card because not only does it break a board, it also burns, it gets rid of the monsters themselves, whereas something like a Dark Ruler No More cannot.
What exactly the ruling is?
If you can still win out games where you just have Super Poly and everything else is a brick. So it's too powerful in the matchups that I use it into not run these. And also, they are, if I don't use Super Poly, it doesn't really hurt me too much because they become banished targets for Prosperity. So, so yeah, no real drawbacks to having the poly targets in there. Right? For the side deck, 3 Phantasmic. Every line of text on this card helps Madolche, in some way. The protection from targeting, very relevant for a deck that can't play through interruptions. Putting a card back to the deck, you run 3 Garnets, so to say. Draw 2, any deck likes that, or possibly more, depending on when you summon it. And the fact that it's 2400 means it can start running over stuff, so it's a threat right out the bat. Right?
Get your own deck, Omar.
3 Lancia.
It's not my fault I didn't want to keep this deck after it died.
It can make Hoot Cake live right away, but the main reason you run it is just because the decks that you do side it in, it shuts them down completely. I do think I need more help going second than I do first, so that is why both the hand traps have been going second cards. And it'll be a trend that you'll see continuing. Alright, 3 Super Poly. Ran for reasons I previously said. It's also nice that it's good going second as well as good going first. It also helps diversify your interruptions, so you can have monster interruption as well as spell and trap.
Well, yeah, you just need to open up Waiting Gazelle and level 3.
2 Twin Twister and 2 Evenly Matched. These are my go-to back row removal. I like this because the cards that you banish are gone. You know, banish face down. It's also nice that it's not once per turn. And it's nice that it kills monsters as well. So very efficient board breaker under the right circumstances. This I like because you can use it during main. You can use it before the main phase because there are quite a few decks in the area that are popular. That their spell and traps can only be activated in the main phase. Alright. And lastly, 1 red reboot and 1 Imperial Order. Just this is basically the only going first card I would run because I like that in the matchups I use it in. It is also they tend to be longer, so it would be decent if I drew it later. And red reboot is just it's the best trap. It's the best anti-trap card in the game currently. It doesn't slow you down at all, and it just shuts them down completely. Alright, and that is the deck.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Let me just zoom out here. All right. Anything else you want to say? Anything you would change? Anything like that?
Shit. I changed my changed the Super Droll to an ulti. Does that count?
Sure, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
See ya.